Come on. Let the music take you. Do remember.
Let's go.
Hypnosis. This coming Saturday. People's Choice. Pitsmore. Guaranteed to be on. Make sure you're there. DJs like myself, MC Rush. DJ Dextrous. Asterisk Space. Mongoose. All the way from London, you got DJ Nils. Also Brand G from London. Make sure you're there. Also MC Uproar will be there.
Nice thing.
In 1988, US hip-hop was growing and becoming an influence in the UK scene. There were movies like Big Street and Breaking influencing British youth back in the mid-80s of what was happening in America. Breakdancing, the graffiti. This would influence British producers and artists. Shut Up and Dance were an East London band and label fusing together the style of US hip-hop, Jamaican dancehall and the sounds of acid house and techno. Philip Johnson, also known as PJ, and Carl Hyman, known as Smiley, both rappers, needed a way to get signed. Just like the big party organisers and pirate radio runners, that DIY mentality was needed, in which they would go to record shops one by one selling their records. The band started to get attention. Their sound was unique and fast, thus becoming hits within the rave scenes.
Activated, a job well done. Now you're caught, brought to justice. Neighborhood, the WAP scheme said, gonna crush this.
And beneath PK, and hey, don't get carried away. This is live on TV. Believe me, as you see me on stage, I hit the front page, and then I head for a rage. Check it out.
Another important party that must be looked into was the Rage event at Heaven. Heaven was already underway with the acid house scene and with Paul Oakenfold's Spectrum on Monday nights, a Balearic and house night. However, Rage is pivotal in this musical journey within our UK sound. Rage was started in order to change a night with a different music policy. Kevin Millins, an experienced promoter, was considered the person to start this. Originally, Rage was a house night, having DJs such as Mark S. Express, Colin Favor and Trevor Fung. Rage had a different energy than the other events, which gained the event reputation as the place to be. All the real hardcore party heads would go there. However, what truly cemented Rage's identity was when the South London DJs Fabio and Groove Rider went on the decks.
Suddenly a new sound attracts everyone's attention.
Their mixing of Belgian and Detroit techno, house and breaks would quickly put them to residency on the main floor. The right place at the right time with the right people can make all the difference, and this is what happened here. The essence of the sub bass and breaks would shake up the dance. The influence of breaks, a lot of the ravers at Rage were into hip hop, and so was Fabio and Groove Rider. Fabio and Groove Rider would also incorporate the wheel ups, which is an influence from the sound system culture. They would take breaks and mix in the house or techno tunes at 45 RPM instead of the 33 RPM. The crowds would go mad. The dance floor would start to gravitate more to the breakbeat sound. The sound, the energy, the vibes. Famous British musical artists who were just ravers at the time had also been inspired by Fabio and Groove Rider, such as jungle drum bass legends DJ Storm, Chemistry, Goldie, GQ, Jumpin' Jack Frost, and many others. Fabio and Groove Rider started to focus more on the breakbeat elements on the sounds, thus being one of the most important and legendary partnerships within British musical history. was house-inspired records with breaks coming out by 1989, such as Debbie Malone's Rescue Me, an iconic underground British record at the time. Besides the breakbeat side, producers were still being inspired by the sounds of techno and acid house and hip-hop. There were crews in most towns in the North and Midlands, and with that, producers started to get experimental. In the north of England and Yorkshire, there were influences of hip-hop culture such as graffiti and breakdancing, such as Solar City Rockers, Bradford's Boy Wonder, Steel City Breakers, and Smack 19.
Dope death on the beat, then I come in. As I commence, the crowd starts to swing, doing my thing. On another level, we Unique 3.
The theme by the Bradford-based group Unique 3 are considered as the first Bleep techno single. Bleep, or Bleep and Bass as some people called it, it was the earliest attempt in Britain, developing their own unique style of acid house and techno. Minimalistic electro style synthesizers creating those Bleep sounds, and the heavy sub basses inspired by the dub and reggae. Producers in the Midlands such as Sheffield, Leeds, Leicester and Birmingham started to make their own style of Bleep. Forge Masters. Naming the band after a factory was inspired by Kraftwerk, as they were named from a German power station and meaning power station. The Midlands is known for the industrial factories and thus many abandoned warehouses. Like as we know, perfect for setting up warehouse parties. Thus, Bleep was tested on these parties. Warp Records was an independent label founded in Sheffield, became the subgenre's most prominent label in 1989, with artists such as The Sweet Exorcist, Forge Masters, LFO and Nightmares on wax, becoming important figures in the style. It's the fusion of the Bleep and breaks. Warp Records were releasing all the latest Bleep records. By 1990, the sound started to be noticeably different from the acid house and techno. Warp Records was booming with their sound, and thus was fusing together in breaks as well. Now, back in London, the success of the label Sharp and Dance was growing, and therefore needed to sign more artists. They had several tracks not released by them, and these tracks had that reggae influence to them. Reggae bass lines with breakbeats. As you know, throughout the series, there was a constant link between the Jamaican connection with sound systems and our UK sound. At the time, Ragga Twins were known in the sound system circuit and were on the Unity sound system as Mic Men. And Mic Men, otherwise known as MCs, Master of Ceremonies. This experimental fusion of Ragga influence and breaks would be considered a fundamental concoction that innovated the UK sound of UK jungle. A track that needs to be mentioned at this time that was iconically played at Rage is a track by Lenny D. Ice, We Are IE. Recorded in 1989 but released in 1991. is considered an iconic rave track that was seminal in the shift of the rave scene. The use of the amen breaks, reggae-influenced bass lines, gunshots, and vocal samples. Gunshot sounds weren't the norm in dance music back then, but were used in sound system culture as sound effects. A legendary track. Continuing the European connection, Belgium also plays a role and is important in this musical story to our UK sound. In the early 80s, the western side of Europe developed this sound of EBM, electronic body of music, combining elements of industrial, synth punk, disco and dance, the repetitive bass lines and commands like vocal shouts. Thus the sound evolved into new sounds. By 88, Belgium were creating their unique style known as New Beat. Like many genre incidents, New Beat was accidentally invented in a nightclub in Antwerp. As it's evolved through time, the sound stabs within house music were already experimented with, such as the synth and piano stabs. By 1990, Belgian producers took this to another level by using more aggressive and harder stab sounds. Take notice of all the synth stab sounds. These stabs were then taken note by British producers and rave DJs, which started to gain popularity here and would later influence our UK sound. Belgian label RNS Records would later feature the well-known sounds such as the second phase of Mentasm that contained the well-known Hoover sound from the Roland Alpha Juno 2 synthesizer.
Three, two, 1, 0.
Belgium were using the 4 to the floor pattern. They were also putting break beats as well. UK DJs picked up on the style and started incorporating it into their own productions, while retaining the bass-heavy feel of Bleep to give the UK hardcore its own unique sound. Due to the love of hip-hop culture, the inclusion of mixing, fast cross-fading and cutting, even scratching. This is another factor which is also important to be considered. Sampling technology was more affordable for upcoming producers. 7-inch plates would have been cheaper, and on B-sides would at times usually be instrumentals of a track, therefore obtaining samples. And Debug Live does a great video explaining this and giving an idea of what producers were doing at the time. As the speed of the music started to become faster, so did the vocals, giving them that high pitch effect.
Just close your eyes. Forget your name. I'm ready. I think I'm gonna
Overdose.
Bearing in mind, due to ecstasy, the ravers reacted more positively when the tracks were more faster, intense, thus the forming of the sound known as hardcore. Regarding the breakbeat sound, a label that specialized in the breakbeat hardcore rave sound at the time was the indie label Suburban Bass Records. based in Romford, was established by Danny Donnelly. Danny opened a record store in Essex called the Boogie Times, having their first label name as Boogie Time Records, which specialized in the hardcore breakbeat sound. This label would later change its name to Suburban Bass Records. Smart E's Sesame Street was an important track. It was a remix to the Sesame Street theme song. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
How to get to Sesame Street. How to get to Sesame Street. How to get to Sesame Street.
It was not the first time artists sampled children's TV theme tunes.
Then we'll begin.
Urban Hype Trip to Trumpton, similar using sample from the children's TV show Trumpton.
You, bun in the groove, cup it, dibble, rub. You, bun in the groove, cup it, dibble, rub. You, bun in the groove, cup it, dibble, rub.
The thing about Romford at this time, Essex and East London, the area has been the front of the line that would be unleashed as some of the scene's pivotal and influential records. There must have been something in the water in the East End. Beside the commercial sounds, I truly recommend listening to Suburban Bass Records and their compilation album, The History of Hardcore, Jungle, Drum and Bass 991997. It focuses on Suburban Bass's records output of the scenes during that era. And listening to some of these tracks still sound fresh till this day.
brains, drop the bass.
Now, XL recordings are very important within this musical journey, part of the Beggars Group. XL recordings came during the peak of the rave era, thus founded in 1989 by Tim Palmer and Nick Hawkes. The label specialized and pushing forward this new style of music, DIY hardcore sounds. Back in London, Joe Wichorek couldn't get artists such as Danny Rampling or Fabio at Groove Rider to play at Labyrinth, as they were on demand. A manager called Ziggy approached Joe regarding his band to play the gig. 4 band members. The band was called The Prodigy. Liam, Keith, Leroy, Maxim. The band smashed it. The crowd went mad. You wouldn't have thought it at the time, but the band will become one of Britain's iconic electronic bands to impact the musical world.
Johnny says always tell your mummy before you go off somewhere.
I'm gonna send into outer space. Find another race. I'm gonna send into outer space. Find another race. I'm gonna send into outer space. Find another race. I'm gonna send into outer space. Find another race.
I'll take your brain to another dimension. I'll take your brain to another dimension. Pay close attention.
Anyone that has been to a Prodigy gig would know the pure intensity and rave energy is like nothing else.
Make some noise! Let your sounds go!
The rave events during the late 80s and 90s were iconic and sometimes life-changing to many ravers. Fantasia first held a rave at Coventry's Eclipse nightclub, an iconic event at the time and to many people.
Let's do it.
Yes, Amnesia! pandemonium. This is hardcore. Get into it.
Hardcore! You know the score! You know the score!
Syndrome and Delight events started, also Amnesia events, also the heart of dance music. Famous DJs played there, such as Sasha, resident and now famous house DJ. Other famous DJs like Carl Cox, Lauren Garnier and Frankie Knuckles, Groove Rider, Enjoy. Unfortunately, Shelley's had a hard time with the police and local authorities in order to keep the doors open. Mickey Finn was the last guest DJ to play there. Will then shut down like many venues and be demolished.
Make some noise out there! Going out to the Alternate crew in the place! Mid-London! I open my champagne for you! Mountain!
Dreamers, the wet dreams are for real.
4 days on, with thousands of people still on the site at Castle Morton Common, there's growing concern locally that nobody seems to have the power to do anything about the travellers.
Another event, Castle Morton in 1992, Bank Holiday Monday, hosted by Spiral Tribe, a techno collective. Created an event at Castle Morton Common in Worcester, infiltrated the New Age travellers. 20,000 people turned up. It got so big, the news had to broadcast it. The British media essentially did free advertising on the party. Residents were pissed off.
After finding these drug equipment in my front garden on Saturday morning, people must understand that a gathering such as this is just an umbrella for the drug dealing and drug pushing of the people up here.
The party went on for 6 days straight, thus was considered the biggest illegal rave ever held in the UK. 30 members of the Spiral Tribe got arrested and charged, and like any other issue, led to another bill. Yeah, Dreamscape, another important iconic event, which would lead on to another iconic venue of the times. In Milton Keynes, there was an unused warehouse venue that it was big, but it fits around 3,500 people. Murray needed a name and flyer for the event. Brainstorming over sci-fi films, like I said before, flyers were so important as they needed to be memorable as it represents your logo and brand image. The Dreamscape flyers were iconic of the 90s, the time and how impactful of a representation of the youth culture. The woman's face people never knew at the time was supposedly an unknown American model. Dreamscape will hold around 20 big nights by 95, bringing fire breathers, dancers, stunt performers with axes, chainsaws, motorbikes, circus acts, surreal stuff. Murray wanted Dreamscape to be bigger each time. Sadly, Murray Beats had passed away in March 96 from a tragic accident. But without Murray, there would have been no Dreamscape, no Sanctuary, for which would later become an important venue of the rave scenes. the next part, we'll be continuing on with the rave era through the 90s. We'll be seeing how the sound of UK hardcore changed and the North's impact on the sound. We will also look into other British genres that emerged during the 90s and 2000s, such as jungle techno, happy hardcore, and Makina.
This happens to be the last one from the DJ Slip Man in the place. Make some fucking noise for the Slip Man.